What's going on? What's going on, BKC family? I am one of the admin here at BKC. My name is Juice. Host my own podcast, Good in the Hood podcast, and I'm here joined by one of the vets, the original admin that started this group for all of us, man. The homie Harris from the True North Views spot, all up there in Toronto.
Yes,
What's going
sir.
on, bro?
Have to rep the gear. You know what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you guys may or may not know me. Matthew Harris, one of the administrators of BKC, and like you mentioned, pointed in the wrong spot. True North Views podcast. Definitely check us out on there. But we're here to have some very important BKC conversations. So I do want to thank everyone in advance for taking a listen to this. We think that this is going to birth a lot of great ideas to come forward. But let's kind of get right into it. There's a few things that we want to talk about. We have 3 questions on our docket, so to speak. First question being, what is BKC all about? So let's just get right into that. We've defined it a couple of times, but at this stage, at this point where we are in BKC with some of the noise that we've made already, how do you feel is the best way we should be describing BKC?
BKC is in my view, my vantage point and my idea where I wanted to see it go is more than just a hub for creatives. It's a place where creatives can not only build can build and collaborate to grow their brands, but can also just launch their brands to another level they never thought of. Mm-hmm. And together as a community of creatives that are ready to take over the goddamn world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like
no
X-Men type shit.
No doubt. What was interesting to me is kind of like how the name BKC came about, right? So we think about the origins of Blank Kanvas Creatives way back before, even before it was kind of what it is now. The name sort of represents us not fully being able to describe it at the time. We knew we wanted a space for creators. We knew we wanted a space where, we have all this creative energy, all this creative frustration. And sometimes your friends just don't get it. Sometimes your family members just don't get it.
Absolutely.
But you don't really have that community to sort of unleash that output on, right?
Absolutely.
And the discussion we were having at the time was, okay, so is this for rappers? Is this for, podcasters? Is this for bloggers? Like, we don't want to limit ourselves. Right. And it's funny because it was just kind of a random conversation. It was like, it's almost like a blank canvas. Like, we don't really have a definition and we don't really have a specific direction of creative that we want to lean towards. And that just became the name. Right. Yeah, so it's Blank Kanvas Creatives. It's growing within itself. It's limitless growth. And it's not limited to any one particular person.
And just to give a little bit of how BKC's already impacted me. Like, I started off just a member, a dude who just was a fan of the Joe Budden podcast, and through knowing people who was in that group, I got brought to this group, and just in the short time of being here, I was able to find someone who made logos. My man Keys made this logo. He's a BKC member.
That logo was so fire. Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? Made it for me, and after I got the logo, I'm like, oh, I gotta do a podcast. Now, there's no excuse. The logo is there, and now I'm making my moves into being consistent with podcasting. I'm trying to get on your level. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
Hey,
so
man.
BKC we have the ability to do so much. We have so many different creatives who can kind of cross over into other lanes and can help each other grow at the same pace.
Exactly. Now, I completely agree with that. Actually, funny enough, you talk about the Joe Budden podcast. It was recently. It was the convo that they had with Fonte, and he was saying the only thing you really have to do as a creative nowadays is advertise yourself.
That's it.
Right. So it doesn't matter if you rap. It doesn't matter if you sell products of whatever, T-shirts, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter if you write blogs. It doesn't matter if you do poetry. We had a jazz artist join recently as well. It doesn't matter what type of creative you are. Not only do we want to consume your creativity, but we want to get a sense of your personality as well. And like you said, this being a space where people can just kind of unleash their ideas and grow, practice your personality here. You know what I'm saying? It's that team feel. It's people that are hustling to increase their viewership, increase their listenership, have more subscribers to their website or their blog, and they get it. They understand the grind, and that empathetic feel naturally is going to make you more supportive of other creators, right? So it's really just trying to make a 1 + 1 = 3. I think that's the best way I can try to describe BKC. It's a creators hub. It's a place for creators by creators, and it's about pushing creators. And if we could all work on growing ourselves and growing BKC, the bigger BKC gets, the bigger we all get. So it literally becomes a win-win. Let's take that Voltron approach and let's make it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, it's about we all creatives, but trying to find creative ways to create. You know what I'm saying, that's what it comes down to, and it's dope. It's really dope, man. I'm seeing a lot of just especially as of recent, the activity we've been getting on BKC has been overwhelmingly, just positive and just encouraging.
Yeah.
Just being a part of this community, like in the short period that I've been here, I'm like, man, seeing it grow into people actually wanting to just to vibe with each other and collaborate with each other and to also promote each other is super dope.
It's super dope. And I've already had the opportunity to, have conversations about 3 of the musicians in the group and really go in depth on their albums. And it's funny because in the background conversations that I've had with them, the only thing I've ever asked them is, or said to them is, I hope I do your album justice. I hope, what I've said is a true reflection of what you're trying to do. And, all 3 of them have given me positive feedback. So what does that tell me as a consumer of music, as somebody who likes to talk about music on his podcast? That tells me that, hey, maybe I'm okay at this part of it. So we're literally all helping each other. They're getting more exposure with my listeners. I'm getting exposure with their listeners. I get the practice of talking about albums in depth, and they get their podcast, they get their album talked about on a lasting platform. That audio file is always going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a win for everyone. And then not only is it a win for both of us on the individual side of things, naturally it's a win for BKC. And if it's a win for BKC and people are seeing, hey, BKC is really about something, now we have more joiners in BKC, and now I get more, and now he gets more or she gets more. So you can see where it's that natural circle of never ending energy where we're all just boosting each other up. It's a beautiful thing, really.
Yeah, man. I was just blessed with the opportunity to check out Cordell Watts and Terrence Mack's projects. Both were definitely it blew me away. But I do have a question to ask you as far as like just for us, right? So as admin, right? It's so far our job has been kind of easy because we've been blessed with like the dope acts like a Terrence Mack and a Cordell Watts. I'm kind of interested to see how it goes when it's time to give the more harsher critiques for like just all of us. Like I'm saying, like when it comes to like for instance, why I feel like I'm having a bad podcast? I hit you up like, hey, bro, tell me what I did wrong here. Tell me whatever. And I'm interested to see as a community when we grow, when we find people who have flaws and more flaws in their project, we want to see improve, how people start taking constructive criticism from each other.
Yeah,
that's what we need to also.
100%.
Hopefully, we get into that bag.
100%. And funny enough, that was one of the first concepts we tried to go with, kind of before BKC got to where it was now. Shout out to Mitch Gaines. He has Those People podcast. He came up with kind of like a 5 mic system, and it was okay. If you're gonna release your podcast, those who comment on it, let's try to do it in a certain fashion where we're talking about, he was specifically talking about podcasts in this discussion, but it was, let's give out of 5 the audio quality. Let's give out of 5 the content itself. Let's give out of 5 the presentation, the advertising, how they do it on their socials. And again, because it's a space for creatives by creatives, we know our only goal is to get better. Our goal is not to hate on one another, right? Maybe there are things that I do. Maybe I talk too much. You know what I'm saying? So there's things that I'm sure I'm doing. All I would ask for is that constructive feedback, because if we're going to let each other be mediocre, no one's going to become anything. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just you as a creative, and I can't tell creatives how to think, but you kind of have to just be the
Ego to
change
the
that you
side.
want to see, you know.
The ego to the side.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta, if you want criticism or you want constructive criticism, let's call it, you got to be the person to dish out constructive criticism, right? If I want to get more traction when I'm posting True North views in BKC, I'm gonna make sure I react in different ways when other artists post their things, when other podcasters post their things. So they're seeing this guy is really supporting me. And now when I see his link, even if it's 8 weeks later, yo, this guy's been rocking with me for 7 weeks in a row. Let me actually check out his thing now. So, you know, it has to be a little bit of give before you can expect to receive, in my opinion. That's just my way of life. That's just how I think. That's how I try to operate in life. If you don't agree with that, that's completely okay. But I would think that if I'm a creative, which I am, that's the direction I want to go in. I want constructive criticism. So I'm going to give as much of it as much as I can. And it's not an insult. It's constructive. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
I agree 100%. I think it's about the way, of course, like you're great with words also. You're great with, like, you break down albums,
Appreciate it.
you do it in a great way where even if you were dissing them, I feel like it'll come off in saying positive. It's about how you use your words also. So when you give constructive criticism, it's also about understanding this is a person that, I'm saying, is in a community with you. I'm saying, and understand how you would want your, I'm saying, critique back towards you. You
Yeah.
know, and that kind of communication is key in a strong community as far as just people
I
talking
think
to
the
people.
key to I think the key to constructive or that term constructive is that there has to be some viable solution at the end, right? If you say your shit is trash and that's the end of your statement, I don't get anything from that.
Right.
But if you say your shit is trash, you talked about the same thing all day,
The quality
and
is
you left
awful.
it at that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even take that as disrespect. I would
Right.
take that as, damn, maybe it did suck. Maybe I talked about that too long. There's some viable solution that comes from it. So it's just a matter of being responsible with the feedback you give, right? Again, you want feedback in a certain way as a creative, so give that feedback to others. I think it's just that simple. It's you give and you get, right?
Actually, and that's another good thing. Like kind of piggybacking off of that, like with constructive criticism, like that's a great thing. That's a great tool to use.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad so far we have kind of avoided having the trolls in our
Yes.
group and in our community,
Yes.
and it's important to keep them out. So, like, looking forward to BKC. Like, we're talking about what it is, what we want it to be, but how do we grow it and keep it in the same nice community we have right now?
I think energy is a real thing. I think even with the people that have joined recently, you know, some of them have been some of the
Shout out to
most
Chris Bowles, man. Shout out to Chris, man. He is
beast
doing a great work at
beast.
just
Where's
bringing
my
some great people
soundboard? Where's my I gotta play the soundboard for this guy. Oh my
on the
god,
real.
this guy's a beast.
The Memphis boy came through, man. Brought his whole crew to kill my playlist, and then took over BKC with
He
positive
took
energy.
over, man. No, it's a super shout out to him. That's a perfect example. It's an energy thing, man. We know what we're trying to do, and we're spreading that word to people that we feel fits into that space, or just the way that we're describing it right now is the way that we describe it at an individual level to people in our lives, whether it's people in our friend circle, whether it's people in our work circle, if necessary, or if it's people that we interact with on social media. um you know, if I have a relationship with whomever on social media and we tweet back and forth or we comment on each other's Instagram posts as an example, I'm going to tell them, hey, I'm actually part of this little movement. Let me know your thoughts on this. It's about X, Y, and Z. I know you do X, Y, and Z. This is about X, Y, and Z. Why don't you come on and join? And you're kind of setting that expectation from the start. So, I mean, in terms of how we can grow BKC, you know, you never want to make anyone feel like they're doing work. So it's not going to say, hey, everyone, please invite we're not going to ask that of you.
Right.
What
It's
we're
not
going to
follow
say is
Fridays.
if you feel the energy in this group, if you feel the Voltron effect that can happen from this, um, tell people that you care about. Tell people that
Absolutely.
you like interacting with. Tell people that have a creative ability that you feel would be a good fit for the group. Let's
Absolutely.
diversify the talent. Shout out to my guy Taz. He does everything on the planet. I just got some catered food from him last week. That dude makes cotton candy.
Man.
He takes photography, videos. He's nuts as a multidisciplinary artist.
He's in the group?
He's in the group, and
Shit.
when his boy, I think it's his cousin, when his boy introduced himself, yo, I make jazz music. I'm from Toronto. In my head, I thought to myself, I think that was invited by my boy Taz, but I'm not sure. Turns out it was invited by him. So
Yeah,
you
send me his
see,
info. I'm big into jazz right now. So send me the boy's info for sure.
definitely, he introduced himself in the group. So
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
we definitely got to check that out. But it just goes back to that energy thing. I told him about it. I told my boy Taz about it, based on the energy, based on me knowing that he does so many things. He was our second interview ever on the True North Views podcast. So it's definitely a super shout out to him. He told someone else about it that has good energy about him in terms of look how he introduced himself into the group. So it's that chain effect. You're going to continue to tell people that you care about or that you care enough in your circle from a creative aspect. You're going to share it because you're going to want them to eat off of it the way that we hope to all eat off of it, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So like when I look at BKC, I just want everyone to think of things this way, right? So with creatives, um, people, even me as a creative myself, I often think and compare myself to other creatives who are above me, ahead of me. Look at this profession. Look at your passion that you're aiming for, that you're aspiring towards as creative. Like think about an entrepreneur, right? A person who has started their own business. They can't compare themselves to Warren Buffett out the gate. You can't do it. So just think in steps, think in stages, breathe, and accept this community we have here, the support system we have here. It's hard, like Matt said earlier, it's hard to get your friends and family to listen to all your podcasts, listen to your music, and support you every time on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever. Friends and family will be the last ones to do that every time. So like what we have here is a group of people who are willing or waiting to hear new music, look at new art, purchase merch. And we have people here that are willing to support. So just take advantage of that in the best way.
And let's not even limit the conversation to creative art, quote unquote, in
Yeah, for
terms of
sure.
music, poetry, whatever. We got everything in there. We got people who bake.
Yeah,
You know,
chefs,
we got everyone in there. So
authors are in
don't
there.
you know what I'm saying? Don't feel we got financial planners in there.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm
Marketers,
saying?
yeah, but PR
Uh,
PR agents, like everything. We're open to everyone. It's not just creatives. It's about just it's. When we say creatives, we don't mean a creative side of life. We mean just wanting to create something for yourself, wanting to create a
yeah.
platform for yourself, create more opportunity for yourself. So that's being creative. We want to create opportunity. That is being creative.
I almost want to use the word entrepreneurial instead of
Mm,
creative, because
absolutely.
when you are in some kind of creative space, there is that entrepreneurial aspect. You have to
It
manage your
has to be.
time. You have to manage your relationships. You have to manage the networks that you're a part of. This is one of those networks. And based on the name, I just hope that there's no confusion with, BKC Network. Oh, am I signing? No, you're not signing up for anything. This is a hub. This is, like you said, people who are hungry to receive creation,
Yeah.
to receive
Support system.
entrepreneurship, to receive advice, financial planning advice, marketing advice, home decor advice, baking, blogging, music, dance, film, whatever it may be. It is not limited to any one thing. Let's just be a community that continues to grow, continues to spread word to people that have great energy about them, and really just go from there. The sky really is the limit, and the higher BKC gets in viewership and fans, for lack of a better word, the higher we all get. I think it really is that simple.
We're a
So it's
movement.
almost a no-brainer at that point,
Absolutely.
right? So I mean, listen, man, BKC is a beautiful thing, man. It really is. I think we've hit a sweet spot in terms of knowing what we are and what we want to be, and let's just go up now.
Absolutely. And I guess one more thing. I guess we talk about what is coming up with BKC that they can look forward to in the short term. What plans do we have in the short term? Any projects? Any attractions we have coming towards the group, towards the movement?
Yeah, man. Let's give some air horns to this. Can you hear it when I do it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is a BKC exclusive.
Exclusive.
We got a few short-term ideas in the works. When I say short-term, I mean, it's coming at you immediately. Let's tell them, I guess, immediately about our BKC roundtable idea.
Yes, sir.
The comparison has been made to the original Joe Budden pull-up.
Yes, sir. Back when he brought Deani, Rob Markman,
Yep.
Sue Surf, he brought all them guys, all those people around.
He was in his big ass living room. But the idea with the BKC roundtable, we don't know how many people yet would sound good via Zoom. It might be 6, it might be 4, it might be 9. But the idea is that we want to get, let's say it's 9, right? We want 9 faces on this Zoom screen. It's going to be some kind of topic of relevance. It could be an advice type of topic. It could be a controversial question type of topic. It could be a timely topic. Whatever that topic may be, let's have a discussion about it. And where the benefit from that comes in is that, of course, we're creating content as a BKC hub. So again, any fans of BKC, they now see your face on screen. You're representing your brand. You see your background. You see my background. You appear on screen. So that's free promo in a lot of ways. And listen, whether it's your album dropping, whether it's your website, what you have in the background is up to you. But obviously, guess what's happening at the end of that conversation? It's okay. Conversation was great today, everyone. Let the people know where they can find you. And it could be, what? I'm dropping my book in 2 months. Find it here on Amazon. I'm coming up with an album in 3 weeks. Look out for that. Oh, I just, I came out with that single on that day. Check that out. Oh, I got a podcast. You can follow me here. It gives everyone an opportunity, going back to what Fonte said, to advertise your personality.
Absolutely.
We have a room full of creatives and entrepreneurs. We are very opinionated people. We are people that naturally know how to give and receive when it comes to having conversation, right? So let's test that out in a group atmosphere, and let's see how that goes. Let's see how captivating we can have our content be as a collective. Absolutely. And let's draw some additional heads to each of our individual crafts, right?
And I want to also make sure people aren't getting confused. We're not out here. BKC isn't built. We're not built to just be out here making content. We're more so about promoting each other. So don't look at the round table as far as us just creating content.
It's a reason to promo.
it's promo for all of us. Like, so I want to promote my brand. Matt wants to promote his brand. I'm sure whoever has their brand, whoever has their lane they have, want to promote it. And of course, in the group, on the Facebook group, on Twitter, on Instagram, it's always debate spark. There's always conversation spark. Why not communicate with people we talk to on the message boards all the time, and just also while we're doing that, promote ourselves. It's perfect for both sides, man. It's perfect for BK. It's good for BKC because it's good for us, and it's good for us because it's good for BKC.
And you can imagine, in the middle of a conversation, how many times are you going to allude to your own product? In my book, I said names. X, Y, and Z. Oh, on my pod, I always say X, Y, and Z. Oh, on my album, I said X, Y, and Z. You're advertising yourself. It's free promo. It's it is a content piece for BKC, for the intention of promoting each and every one of you. And that's really what we want BKC to be, is how can we help each other, promote each other, because we are all in this together. Right.
Yeah, man.
It really is that simple, man. I think that's maybe the perfect way to end it off in that case.
Absolutely.
Definitely want to thank everyone for tuning into this. This will start the wave of some video activity.
The inauguration. The
This will
inauguration.
definitely be in the Facebook group for sure. Are we looking to do this on YouTube as well?
We're looking to get a BKC YouTube page. It will be on IGTV and BKC. Go to BKC Network. And I'm pretty sure we'll put a snippet on Twitter, which is also at BKC Network.
Yes. So we're trying to make the name uniform BKC Network on everything. Let's hope that is available on YouTube because we have not looked at that yet.
Yeah,
but
for real.
It's all good. So we definitely appreciate it, everyone. Again, it's your boy Harris, one of the administrators in the group. You can find me at the True North Views podcast. Justin, I'll let you do your thing.
I'm also Justin, aka Juice from the Good in the Hood podcast. You can follow the Good in the Hood podcast at Good in the Hood Pod on Instagram, at Good in All Hoods on Twitter. I'm at Juice JVP on Instagram and Twitter. I'm a part of this movement with y'all. I know I'm an admin, but don't get the admin title confused. It's about us equally. We're all equals here. We're all equally creatives trying to build something for ourselves. Let's do it together, man. Why not?
Absolutely. And I guess I did a little bit of a rookie mistake and I didn't confirm where to find me. Like I said, True North Views, but it's at True North Views on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube, and True North Views podcast on Facebook. Definitely find us there, and hopefully you can follow the content and follow the movement on there as well. This was a super
episode
dope
104. Episode 104 over there.
Yo, listen, man. We're up there, man. We're up there in numbers. You know, we hit the century mark, so it's not easy, man.
Hey,
but listen, man, we keep grinding, and BKC is definitely keeping that fire going. So it's been helping me for quite some time, and hopefully it helps each and every one of you as time goes on.
Yes, sir. That being said, till next time.
Peace.
Peace.